make a small presentation. This is regarding perspective of CBI investigation and e-governance. Initially I had planned a bigger one, but I'll try to concise it. Basically, first, as most of us might be aware, basically CBI, it is the main organization in India which started dealing with cybercrime investigation, and so far we have almost handled more than 5,000 complaints. We have dealt with, I've mentioned here most of the crime types that we have dealt in recent past or we are doing. We are basically nodal agencies for getting information from different countries, intelligence from different countries, and basically we are also nodal agencies for requesting assistance from different countries, and also similarly for any outward communication regarding cybercrime or any other information which is sought by investigative agencies. Basically, CBI is a nodal point for suggestions of law enforcement agencies for cybercrime conventions and dialogues. We also maintain close ties with government organizations like CecureIT and NASCOM, DSI, etc. We are also nodal agency for investigation or defacement of government websites. In recent past we have cracked many cases, but I would just like to highlight certain challenges that we have faced in cracking these cases. One of the most challenge that we have faced is of this high internet connectivity. Now, as per recent survey, there are around 2.4 billion internet connections worldwide, and keeping a track or tracing, that's a really big challenge for us. Linking persons to IP address, we can easily link IP addresses, but linking the actual computers with these IP addresses is a difficult issue. I would like to just highlight few case studies that we have done, just to make a point at what e-governance agencies or implementing agencies should be aspiring for. We have done certain cases in which nowadays, since we are moving towards computerization, we are moving towards automation in various industries, in various services. Like say, some time back we did a case in which some person went to Australia with a ATM card, and that was of a nationalized bank from India, and there he presented that card, and basically there was no money in that in his account. But when the ATM card, the machine POS point of sale that contacted the server of that bank, he gave the information that there are not sufficient money in his account. But later on, there was one interconnecting server connecting that visa thing with the bank account, and he flagged the message that basically that particular bank could not be contacted. And in Australia, basically, in case of such emergencies where the bank could not be contacted, basically they allow the to the holders of the card to withdraw certain amount of money. And in that case, that person withdrew around 3 crores within a span of 2 months. So that was a really important case, and this highlights basically the kind of coordination that we need in different basically servers, the different agencies that are dealing with such kind of financial transactions. Basically, we have done certain RTGS cases in which basically nowadays different banks, different even private banks and other organizations, they are hiring operators, they are hiring persons for taking the job of optimization or in fact doing the data entry. In a certain case, we found that the persons who was actually authorized for doing the transaction, authorizing the transaction rather, basically he gave the PIN number and the password, login, etc. to a private person, and he did all kind of hanky-panky on his behalf, and in that way probably they siphoned around 2.5 crores within a span of 3 months, and we cracked that case and we arrested those persons. And in fact, we arrested the person who was basically the government servant. But the point I wanted to emphasize in this is Basically, since we are moving towards automation, various e-governance projects or various automation projects are being carried out nowadays, we must have certain provisions, we must have certain mechanisms, we must have certain safeguards to ensure that the things are done in right perspective. We should have persons, we should have maintain a proper chain of persons, proper chain of command, so that the person who is actually doing the job or any other person who is authorized by that person doing that job, he is held responsible, he is accountable for that particular task. Otherwise, as we see, the amount of mischief, the amount of money involved in such activities is magnanimous. Similarly, there was a case, it was related with the check truncation. In check truncation, in this also, basically same thing. That was a particular bank, the money, the check went to for clearing to a particular thing. The person who was responsible for clearing that amount, basically he changed the name of the beneficiary account number, and money in fact went to some other account number. At the final stage, he again corrected the account number so that the trail could not be found. But we investigated that case, and we in fact arrested the accused ones. And in this case also the same thing. Basically, there was no mechanism. The person who was authorized to do the transaction, basically he had some private person were hired on his behalf, and they did all the wrong work. Similarly, same was basically there was an income tax case as well. The point that I wanted to emphasize with these 2-3 small case studies is that nowadays, again, since we are moving towards automation in various private industries as well as government industries, there must be a mechanism to check, to test, and to make the persons accountable at various level of commands. Thank you so much.